Autumn afternoon. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Yesterday, America celebrated its richest thoroughbred race, $4 million. The Classic. It was won by Tiz Now, and it's Tiz Now for these two teams that desperately need a win.
And today, Dick, for the Ravens, they're going to have to do it with their backup quarterback. Elvis Grbac is going to sit it out. The ageless one, Randall Cunningham, still with a lot of gas in his tank.
And Mark Brunell of the Jaguars says this is the most important game he's played in 7 years.
Well, the Jags have lost 3 in a row, and head coach Tom Coughlin has called out his offense, saying, "You're the reason we're losing. You must get better."
Last season, the Baltimore Ravens celebrated atop the football Wonder World as the Super Bowl champions. This season, it's Wonder What's Wrong. 3-3 start has brought frustration and now desperation. And today, a 38-year-old will attempt to lead them back to their championship form. In Jacksonville, the Jaguars' future is also upside down as they attempt to recover from a 3-game losing streak. The Jaguars, the Ravens, next. It's the Jaguars and Ravens, and injuries to starting quarterback Elvis Grbac brings Randall Cunningham into the Ravens saddle, and with it, the legs that can run for big yards. Two teams not accustomed to being in the bottom half of the AFC Central standings. Obviously, the loser today in trouble as the Steelers have run off to a 4-1 lead in the Central. It was down near freezing last night here in Baltimore. 50 degrees the temperature currently. Wind chill with a northerly wind 15 to 20 miles an hour at 33 degrees. Clear skies, and newly signed Danny Kite, who has kicked off for Indianapolis the last 2 years. Brian Billick unhappy with the fact that opponents have been starting after their kickoffs from the 30-yard line. He wants some depth. So it's Kite who will try to put some air in the kickoff. Into the wind, however, comes down short. Damon Gibson inside the 15. And Gibson some running room down the sidelines and finally bumped out of bounds near midfield. Mark Brunell, now in his 9th year out of the University of Washington. His career numbers a bit better than his 2001 statistics. And he has had some of his biggest games against this Ravens defense. Brunell starts, of course, without Fred Taylor, the top running back, who has been out with a serious groin injury. So we'll see Stacey Mack, Elvis Joseph, and Frank Moreau all expected to play today. His 4 running backs in uniform today, 3 are free agents. He comes out throwing to the sidelines, complete to McCardell. Keenan McCardell with his first catch. He and Jimmy Smith, of course, the wide receivers. And here's the starting lineup for Jacksonville. Fordham for Tony Baselli, out for the year. Meester, Smith, Wiegert, and Williams, the rookie from Michigan. This backfield, Stacey Mack gets the start. Patrick Washington, the blocker. Smith and McCardell, 2 of the finest receivers in the game. Kyle Brady, the tight end, and Tom Coughlin in his 7th year, the only coach in Jacksonville history. On second and short, it's Joseph trying the center of the line and has a first down at the 40-yard line. Ray Lewis with the tackle. Here are the top-rated defense in the National Football League again this year. Burnett, Adams, Siragusa, and McCrary up front. McCrary with 6 sacks. The linebackers brilliant. Bulwer, Lewis, and Sharper. And in the back 4, Starks and McAllister at the corners. Woodson and Harris the safeties. On first down. Fake, and then Brunell swings to throw to Brady, and the tight end pushed out of bounds at the Raven 34 by Jamie Sharper.
Good job. Well, Dick, right off the bat, we're seeing what Jacksonville has told us, that the only way we can beat the Ravens without Fred Taylor in the lineup is by throwing the football, and that now makes 2 times that they have thrown the ball on first down, both with completions, and it's a very smart way to go. If Siragusa and Adams are in the game, go ahead and throw the football.
Frank Moreau, who has not carried the ball this year, does. No, it's a fake to Moreau. No, and then it's he does have the ball. Good, clever ball handling by Brunell, who carried out his fake, and Moreau, who was drafted by Kansas City in the 4th round a year ago and picked up on waivers by the Jaguars, has now made his first carry, and it was a good one for a first down to the 29. Joseph and Moreau now in the game for Jacksonville. This is Joseph in motion. He's a good receiver. The throw complete underneath to McCardell at the 20-yard line, close to another first down, with Dwayne Starks making the hit defensively.
Boy, and it is a very decisive Mark Brunell throwing the football, getting the matchup here against Dwayne Starks. It's the zone. Starks releases McCardell to the inside. He just sits down softly, but Mark Brunell has been right there with the throw so far. But boy, what an advantage to get to start your opening drive that close to midfield.
4 receivers with Joseph, who takes the handoff and slips down. A loss of a yard at the 21 on 2nd and 1. Joining us down on the field, Bonnie Bernstein.
Hi, Dick. Well, Dan, you were talking about Brunell saying we're going to pass the ball. He said, hey, we're 2 and 3. We have no problem taking plays from other teams' offenses, so you will see them run some no huddle. Brunell will be out of the shotgun. He said ordinarily we'll run a spread formation maybe 2 or 3 times. You might see it 10 to 15 times today because it worked for teams like Green Bay and Cleveland and the Jets last year. Without Taylor, the running game isn't working. He said we beat Baltimore at the pass. They'll try to do it again today, Dick.
All right, on 3rd down and 2, and they show pass in this situation. Shotgun, Brunell firing, incomplete. Flag goes down, however, as Elvis Joseph was hit by McAllister just as the ball arrived. And it's interference against the Ravens and a first down with it. Jeff Triplett, the referee today.
Take a look at the top of your screen. McAllister comes off his primary assignment, and he comes in and he makes contact with Elvis Joseph very apparently well before the ball arrives. And Brian Billick has seen drives continued against his team repeatedly because of penalties and mistakes.
Brunell again fires on first down, and he's complete again to McCardell, and he's close to another first down inside the Ravens 10. How accurate has Brunell been on this first possession?
Well, that's the only thing he can be, Dick, if the Jaguars are to have any chance at all today on the road against an angry Baltimore team that's lost a couple games in a row. This is, if Mark Brunell doesn't have a razor-sharp day, I don't think Jacksonville has a prayer.
He's got that left arm honed. 4 for 4. 2nd down and a long one. Up the middle is Joseph, and he has the first down at about the 6-yard line.
Take a look at the Jacksonville offense. That is really poor production in the red zone. When you only come out of points, with points on 6 of 11 possessions, 4 touchdowns, a pair of field goals. Tom Coughlin, though, has been operating a football team that has just been decimated by injuries. Maybe the biggest, other than Fred Taylor, of course, the loss of Tony Baselli at left tackle. The Pro Bowler out for the rest of the year on injured reserve. You not only lose a great tackle, but you lose the rock, the cornerstone, the foundation of your football team. Baselli's the type of player that makes everyone around him better, and it really kind of shatters the confidence of the rest of your team when you lose a guy like Baselli.
Not only his talent, but his tremendous leadership. You saw they spotted me down at the 7, just short of a first down. 3rd and inches for Coughlin's Jaguars. Smith to the left. McCardell to the right in the slot. Sean Dawkins wide right. Brunell sneaks it ahead. He's rejected, but he only needed about a foot for a first down. Sam Adams and Tony Siragusa, the beef inside, to push back Brunell, and they'll have another measurement.
I'm not sure there's a team in the league where it's tougher to run a quarterback sneak than against the Ravens with Tony Siragusa and Sam Adams in there. You're having to move an awful lot of beef away from the center guard position to try to get the yardage for a first down. They're not used to seeing it, and they certainly aren't used to giving it up, and they didn't
gain an inch.
No.
So it's 4th and inches. Will Coughlin go for the field goal? He did against Buffalo at home last week.
Man, unless I had Jerry Kramer and Fuzzy Thurston, I'm not sure I'd give that a whirl against that Ravens defense.
It didn't work when Coughlin ordered the field goal in the second half at Jacksonville last week, so he's going to go for it here on the road. They're 0 for 5 on 4th down conversions, Jacksonville, this year. Empty backfield. Brunell in trouble, gets away, now throws. Incomplete. He was out of the end zone. Jimmy Smith with Chris McAllister making the deflection, and the Raven fans cheer the takeover on downs. Oh my. Chris McAllister, a fine defensive play against Jimmy Smith in the end zone, taking over on downs. The Ravens. And on first down, it goes to Jason Brookins, starting his first NFL game.
Well, Dick, you mentioned McAllister. Here he is right here, and Jimmy Smith. Just watch these two. It's going to start with contact right here at the 2-yard line, perfectly legal. Look at the push off by Smith, and now he's going to try to clear. Watch him throw McAllister there, but McAllister is able to come back. Boy, that's just a brilliant piece of defensive work by Chris McAllister. And that is a curious go for it on a sneak on 3rd down, and then throwing it on 4th, and it didn't pay off.
Cunningham in his own end zone twists out and loses a yard as Tony Brackens logs his first sack of the season. Brackens, the all-time Jacksonville sack man, with 37 coming into the season. And Cunningham, look at that, 67 more rushing yards. He's already the top running quarterback in NFL history to get 5,000. He told us as we chatted with him yesterday, that's something he would a record he'd like to have. 5,000 yards running as a quarterback in this league. Lost a yard there. Draw play. And not much there at all for Ian Badesho. Femi Ian Badesho from San Diego State. Offensive line, all-pro Jonathan Ogden with Mulatalo returning from injury, Flynn, Anderson, and Vickers. And the starting backfield, Jason Brookins from Lane College of Tennessee. His first start, Gash the blocker, Ismail and Taylor wideouts, and Shannon Sharp, who didn't practice all week but did start at tight end.
And a good series there for Jacksonville's defense, which has been playing well all season long.
Kyle Richardson to kick it. And takes a Baltimore bounce. And away from Damon Gibson of the Jaguars, who will have good field position when we return to Baltimore. No score early.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. Subway, fresh-made sandwiches on fresh baked bread. Subway, eat fresh. And by Jeep, makers of Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, and the all-new Jeep Liberty.
Back at PSINet Stadium, 69,000 plus, welcoming the Super Bowl champions home after 2 tough losses on the road. And it's the Jaguars after the kick at the 50. And that give to Joseph, and a flag down as Elvis Joseph, a rookie free agent from Southern University, skipped through a big hole, but perhaps that's why. A hold against Jacksonville will bring it back.
Well, it's only the 2nd possession for Jacksonville, but you just, in this game on the road, you must take advantage of this field position. Jacksonville had great field possession after that Gibson run back of the opening kickoff. Dick came away with no points. Here they start again at midfield. You just don't get that many opportunities to start like this on the road against the defending champions. If they don't take advantage of this, a real downer for the Jags.
Instead of 2nd and 2, 1st and 20 after the holding penalty. Brunell Protection breaks down, and he's dropped for a loss. Michael McCreary and Peter Boulware converged on the left-handed quarterback.
Now, I mentioned earlier about how this offensive line of Jacksonville is really in trouble. But Peter Boulware, that time against the rookie Maurice Williams, just runs him back and then gets the inside release on him. And Mark Brunell, not finding anybody open downfield, has to take a sack.
Peter's brother Michael Boulware, a sophomore wide receiver at Florida State, had a touchdown against the University of Maryland yesterday.
That was a down and distance you don't see every day. 2nd and 29.
Elvis Joseph trying to get outside. Gains only 3. James Trapp, an extra defensive back up to make the tackle. A reminder to log on to NFL.com and vote for the AFC and NFC All-Star teams to play in this year's Pro Bowl. You can vote right now, NFL.com or AOL keyword NFL.com.
Well, the #1 defense in football now looking at a 3rd and forever. This is when it's exciting to be a defensive player.
4 wide receivers, 3 down linemen, couple extra defensive backs. Blitz off the corner, quick throw, complete out to the 50-yard line to Jimmy Smith, who had a huge game a year ago here in Baltimore. 291 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. That one gets him back to the original line of scrimmage, 4th and 10.
You know, things weren't going well when a play of that caliber just gets you back to the line of scrimmage. So Baltimore defensively has to be thrilled. 2 times Jacksonville has had outstanding field position and has come away with zip.
Left-footed kicker Chris Hansen to Jermaine Lewis, one of the best in the NFL, standing at the Raven 10. Wobbly boot. Lewis lets it bounce, then takes it at the last minute and has dropped at the 9-yard line. Tackled by Rob Meyer. Timeout in Baltimore. No score. First quarter. It's all blue over Baltimore today. Clear skies, no score early. Each team now with 2 possessions. Jacksonville at midfield, their 2 starts, but no points. And Baltimore started at the 7, the first possession, now at the 9 as Randall Cunningham has them set. He drops back to throw, fires down the middle, complete to Shannon Sharp to the 41-yard line. Kevin Hardy makes a tackle. What a perfect throw by Cunningham.
Well, to think that his arm isn't still very much alive is a terrible mistake. 38 years old or not. And Shannon Sharp, a question mark all week because of a bad knee. Here's a guy that didn't even warm up with his team today. He went in during warm-ups. He had to get retaped. He got some fluid drained from his bad knee. And a couple of old veterans coming through there for the Ravens.
30-yard gain, and now on the ground, Jason Brookins, again, as we mentioned, from Lane College in Jackson, Tennessee, a Division II, his first ever NFL start. Hardy Nickerson made the tackle, and here are the Jaguars starting a lineup defensively. Up front, Ronaldo Wynn, Gary Walker, he makes big plays. Seth Payne and Tony Bracken's a sack already. The linebackers, Hardy, the veteran Hardy Nickerson, and Danny Clark starts for the injured T.J. Slaughter. Fernando Bryant and Aaron Beasley at the corners. Marlon McCree and Ainsley Battles in a very young defensive secondary for Jacksonville.
And there's their defensive coordinator, Gary Moeller. His first year in Jacksonville, as Don Capers was there last year. He's the new coach in Houston.
2nd and 8. The throw to Quadri Ismail. A first down as he fights his way into Jacksonville territory. Fernando Bryant, the defender. Randall Cunningham, 4 times a Pro Bowler, and we've got an injured Raven apparently on that last play. Edwin Mulatalo, who has just returned from a knee and ankle injury. They've missed his presence, a 340-pound left guard, but down on one knee.
Yep, and this is for a team here, Dick, that only dressed 7 offensive linemen. If Edwin Mulatalo can't come back, you see him pointing over there to his left foot. As Dick mentioned, he's missed the last 3 games. They can ill afford to lose him.
Be right back. No score. First quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bella Sera Pinot Grigio. It's going to be a beautiful evening. It's going to be a Bella Sera. And by CompUSA, where America buys technology.
For the first time, the Ravens in enemy territory start at the 45-yard line. First down. And the handoff goes to Brookins, trying to get outside, and buried after a 1-yard gain by Danny Clark. No score in Baltimore, but we've got action elsewhere. Jim Nance.
All right, thank you, Dick. It didn't take long at Detroit. The Bengals on the first play from scrimmage. Corey Dillon, he's gone. 96 yards, an all-time Cincinnati record. Longest play in Bengal history. 7-0 Cincinnati. Let's go back to Dick and Dan.
Wow, Dick, how many more things can go wrong in Detroit? Two guys hit Dillon, and he breaks loose and goes all the way.
96 yards for the Bengals. Second down and 9. And a little trickery by the Ravens. Finally goes to Brookins, tackled by McCree, but a flag is down in the backfield and holding the call against Baltimore to bring it back. Would have been a first down at the Jacksonville 34. Instead, it'll bring it back into Raven territory as Benny Anderson is ticketed.
Benny, the rookie, starting at right guard and finding out that sometimes it's a merciless game out there.
Of course, with Mulatalo on the sidelines, Kip Vickers now in that offensive line, and fortunately for Brian Billick, Vickers able to play both guards and both tackle positions.
Now we've got the officials. They need to confer here. I don't know if this is a timing issue or the spotting of the ball, but they're going to try to get it right here, whatever they're talking about.
Meanwhile, we can get a report on Edwin Mulatalo's condition with Bonnie Bernstein.
All right, well, Mulatalo, someone fell on his left ankle. They took off the tape job. They're going to tape him back up and see if he can go again. Incidentally, not related to the original injury that kept him out the last few weeks. He had a scope on his right knee. So, Dick, those two injuries not related.
Okay, thank you, Bonnie. Penalty takes it back to the Baltimore 46, where it is 2nd and 19. Less than 3 minutes remaining in this scoreless first quarter. Cunningham underneath to Sam Gash, and Gash to the 48 of Jacksonville. Gash, who played, of course, at Penn State, which reminds us from all of us here in Baltimore at CBS, congratulations to Joe Paterno, 324, one of the great leaders in all of sport.
I'm not a young guy, but Joe Paterno has been coaching so long. He was my coach in the Hula Bowl when I was a senior in college, and he was already established at Penn State. And I saw in the NFL today Mike Ditka saying that Joe Paterno recruited Mike Ditka when he was in high school. That's longevity.
That is good. Well, flags go down before the snap. No play. Brian Billick not at all happy, as the Ravens apparently move first, but we're going to see no. Oh, so it goes against Jacksonville. Tony Brackens.
Well, somebody came across the line here. Let's take a look at it. This is Tony Brackens right here. And there he comes. He jumps across the line, and that's the direct result, along with Seth Payne, who went with it. But that's a direct result of Randall Cunningham having one of the best hard counts. And a hard count is a change in the voice inflection of the quarterback. And Randall's got a voice that carries, and boy, does he bark it out.
3rd and 8 to Kadri Ismail, and a first down, leaned across the 35 to the 34, enough for another series of downs. Aaron Beasley, the defender.
Well, so much of a burden now is on the shoulders of Randall Cunningham, given the fact that Elvis Gerback is out. Terry Allen, who would normally start at running back, he's not playing today because of a bad ankle. And, of course, everybody knows about Jamal Lewis being out. And Tony Brackens, well, that was kind of an ill-advised half attempt at a leap. Didn't make it.
Cunningham off a play-action fake. Hit in the backfield, and down he goes. Kevin Hardy logs his 5th sack of the year with Seth Payne right there as well.
Well, Kevin Hardy, who's been to the Pro Bowl before, Dick, is having that kind of a start to this season. You look how he starts into the middle, fakes to the outside, gets by Ian Badejo, and stays with it long enough to get to Randall Cunningham. Kevin Hardy is, remember the great career he had there at Illinois, teammate of Simeon Rice, and he has been well worth the #1 choice that the Jaguars have invested in this guy.
That was back in '96. He was the second player picked in that draft. Handoff to Ian Badejo, who rumbles down to the 30-yard line. A good gain by the fullback, who has carried sparingly, 91 yards on the season.
Ooh, and he gets up hobbling. Look at Ian Badejo as he tries to get over to the Baltimore bench. He got a good block up front. Boy, look at that, and the hit is sprung him into the open, and I believe that was Marlon McCree, the free safety for Jacksonville, who came over and took the legs out from underneath Obafemi Ian Badejo. Been working on that for years.
3rd down and 7. It is a mouthful, isn't it? And they almost had 2 of them here in Baltimore.
Look out.
Off the corner, Cunningham able to get the ball away. Incomplete, intended for Shannon Sharp. And that is the end of the opening quarter here in Baltimore, Maryland, with the Jacksonville Jaguars and Baltimore Ravens. No score. We're back in Baltimore. Dick Enberg with Dan Deerdorf and Bonnie Bernstein. Ball's at the 31 on a 4th and 7, and field goal unit on for the Ravens, and Matt Stover, who broke Fred Cox's consecutive field goal record last week, 32 straight games, will try to extend it to 33. This is a 49-yard attempt. Good contact. It's long enough. It is good. 33 straight games for Stover out of Louisiana Tech. The Ravens 3-0 early. Baltimore's Mr. October in football scored all of his team's points in the month of October a year ago, Matt Stover.
And really showed good range on that field goal, Dick. Matt's been bothered by a leg injury, and it's really kept him from really kicking the ball off with any sort of strength. That's why they brought in Danny Kite to kick off, and that was really at the outer limits of his range. So good sign, a very good sign for the Ravens, that Stover was able to connect from that distance.
And here's Danny Kite, the man they've signed just this week, to give them more distance on kickoffs with Patrick Washington and Damon Gibson deep for Jacksonville. And Kite hits this one well to the 4, and Gibson brings it back. Hit at the 25. A flag is down. Now he's in the open with only Kite to beat. Flag back deep in Jacksonville territory as Gibson finally run out of bounds at about the 20-yard line of Baltimore. And look at Coughlin. He knows.
It's a holding call against Jacksonville. Boy, Tom Coughlin's frustration meter is pegged out.
Rookie Eric Westmoreland, the #3 draft pick out of Tennessee, a little too eager with the block, and it nullifies a 71-yard return.
Dick, you and I have known Tom Coughlin for many years, and he is really facing the most difficult situation I think that he's had in his career here with the Jaguars. They just can't seem to string anything positive together, and that's just a good example of it. They've had 2 great field positions today, come away with nothing. Now a great return gets brought back. It just seems to snowball for Coughlin and the Jaguars.
That negative cycle perpetuating itself. From the 23. Brunell to throw on first down again. Wide open is Brady, the tight end. And he maneuvers out to about the 28-yard line. 3-0. Baltimore with a slender lead here. And now let's go to New York and Jim Nance.
All right, thank you, Dick. Carolina recovered a fumble, ran it back 94 yards for the lead. But then the Jets special teams comes up with the big play. Hayes on the recovery off the Henderson block. Jets lead at 7-6. Let's go back to Dick and Dan.
All right, thanks, Jim. First down for Brunell. And again, fires to the tight end, and he has another first down, Brady. That's 3 catches early. Brady, who played his ball at Penn State for Joe Paterno.
And here goes Jacksonville into the no huddle. Now, don't confuse this with a hurry up. You know, they're really not trying to force the issue time-wise, but they are wanting to keep Saragusa and Adams in the ball game and throw the football on first down. Now, that time they elect to run it, and why, I don't know. If I had 10 first downs calling the plays for the Jaguars, I would throw the ball on 9 of the 10.
Well, here's the 10th one, apparently, and Elvis Joseph agrees with you.
Yes.
Why would you run me now and take that from Peter Boulware?
I would see the 2 big tackles in there, and I would say, let's throw the ball.
2nd and 12. Brunell able to scramble, and he can run. First down and more at the 40. He's at the 30, and finally, Chris McAllister, the cornerback, able to chase him down. One of the longest running plays of the season, pleasing Tom Coughlin.
Well, this time the Jags come with the pass, but look at the blitz. Ray Lewis is in there, Sharper is in there, and Brunell breaks it out. And that is the blitz that you can run, but you must get to the quarterback. If you bring that money, guys, everybody downfield is in man coverage. If he gets by the blitzers, he has a wide open field. The secondary doesn't even know that Mark Brunell is running because they've got their backs turned to him in man coverage.
38 yards, his longest run in his career, the longest run of the season for Jacksonville. Plenty of time. McCarthy almost intercepted into the arms of veteran Rod Woodson. That would have been his 60th career interception. He's been hungry to get number 60.
Well, he had number 60 right on his palm. Look at it, right off the hands of Keenan McCardell. And McCardell is really known for really having outstanding hands, and you don't serve one up like that very often and get away with it. But that time Jacksonville did.
Brunell and the Jaguars dodge one there. 2nd and 10. Flags down before the snap, and Maurice Williams, the right tackle, may have false start against him. A reminder tonight after 60 minutes, what do you tell your child when he asks one of life's biggest questions? Don't miss an all-new Education of Max Bickford tonight after 60 minutes on CBS.
Well, what Tom Coughlin is going to tell Maurice Williams, his rookie right tackle, is, "You're killing me." Bad enough we're in 2nd and 10, but that's a dumb mistake. That's just not paying attention.
2nd down and 15. Elvis Joseph now joins Brunell. Crowd trying to make it tough on the signal caller for Jacksonville. Deflected at the line of scrimmage by Rob Burnett, the veteran from Syracuse, the veteran of 12 seasons in the NFL, one of the original Cleveland Browns, along with Stover, to move to Baltimore, that are still on the roster.
Well, Rob Burnett coming in with the pressure. It's 96 Thomas who actually gets his hand on the football. The 2nd-year player from Southern Mississippi, and again, that's just good work by a defensive lineman of being tall, getting your hands in the way. Mark Brunell, not the tallest quarterback in the league. And here comes the crowd.
3rd and 15. Brunell throws underneath, and it's complete. Damian Gibson, or it's Elvis Whitted who makes the catch. And Whitted with his first catch of the season for Jacksonville.
Wasn't good enough for anything close to the first down, but very important to get Mike Hollis within field goal range. And this is making it a much more comfortable kick for Hollis,
who has a great long distance leg. In fact, he's 10 for 14 lifetime outside 50, and this is a 40-yard attempt to tie. Splits it, and we have a new game with 11:31 remaining in the first half. Hollis makes it 3-3. Rivals Jacksonville and Baltimore tied at 3 with 11.5 minutes remaining. A 60-yard drive to that Hollis field goal. Brunell's 38-yard run, the longest against the Baltimore defense this year. Tarl's kick very short to Jermaine Lewis. Running start takes him out across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And we'll break with 11:22 remaining first half, tied at 3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Wendy's Bacon Mushroom Melt. When you gotta have one, you gotta have one. IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level. And by the United States Marine Corps, the change is forever.
Baltimore puts it in play at the 33, and for the best NFL info on the net, including expert analysis, in-depth team reports, you go to cbs.sportsline.com or AOL keyword CBS Sportsline. Randall Cunningham for the injured Elvis Gerback at quarterback for Baltimore. Into the flat, complete to Travis Taylor. And he earns a couple extra after the catch, pushed out of bounds at the 41 after a gain of nearly 8. Fernando Bryant there for Jacksonville along with Kevin Hardy.
And I think getting Travis Taylor involved in the offense today critical for Baltimore. He's the most physical of the Baltimore receivers, a big guy, and that's the type of route in which he's really, he specializes. He look how you can see there, he doesn't go down. Fernando Bryant has got his arms full trying to do anything with Travis Taylor, and to press this guy is trouble because of how strong he is.
Second and short, and Brookins shoulders down, first down at the 44-yard line. Hardy Nickerson makes the hit.
Well, we saw Brookins carrying the ball there. It's been an interesting journey for the running backs of the Ravens. Jamal Lewis, their #1 guy who had 1,300+ yards last year, injured his knee in training camp. He's out for the year. Remember, his backup last year was Priest Holmes. He's the #1 guy in Kansas City now. They then signed Terry Allen after Jamal Lewis gets hurt. Terry Allen hurt his ankle last week. He's not even suited up today. So to say that they are going deep into the bucket for running backs here in Baltimore is an understatement.
Brookins picked up the first down at the 44, and now Cunningham down the middle, incomplete to Todd Heap. Heap open at the 44. Check on other action in the NFL. Let's go to New York.
All right, thank you, Dick. There was some bickering last week amongst the Bengals, specifically Kitna and Dillon, but not here. They team up on a 9-yard touchdown play. Dillon's second touchdown of the game, 14-3 Cincinnati second quarter. Let's go back to Dick and Dan.
All right, and troubles for the Lions getting that first win continue.
Listening to Jim Nantz talk again about the Cincinnati Bengals, I think it is now officially time to retire the Bungles. That nickname needs to be put in the closet for a while.
And before the snap, Marcus Stroud, was he drawn offside? The rookie from Georgia, the #1 draft pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the veteran Cunningham got the rookie Stroud.
Well, that's the second time today. He got Tony Brackens and Seth Payne before. There's that hard count, and once Stroud got that momentum going, no way he can get it back. It's boy, it's just hard to, as a rookie, you're so excited, your motor's running 1,000%. Tough to slow it down.
2nd and 5. Cunningham going long for Taylor, and too long. Fernando Bryant, excellent coverage for the Jaguars.
Well, Travis Taylor halfway down the field on that fade pattern just kind of slowed down. I don't know if he was expecting the ball but he kind of breaks his stride a little bit. It's not an all-out sprint. He makes it right there, but right here he kind of slows down a little bit as he kind of adjusts back to the middle of the field. That didn't look like an all-out sprint to me. I think Travis Taylor is capable of a little more speed than he exhibited right there, Dick.
Taylor was 8 years old when Cunningham was an NFL rookie with Philadelphia. He said, I remember watching him when I was a little guy.
Yeah, well, he should have expected the ball.
Cunningham off balance, goes underneath the Shannon Sharp for a first down at the 43. Hardy and Hardy Nickerson make the tackle.
Shannon continuing his quest to pass his boss, Ozzie Newsome, for the most receptions in the history of this league for a tight end. The guy has the most exquisite feel for the passing game from the tight end position. and he's a better blocker than people think. But I'm not sure we've had a tight end who just knows the intricacies of the passing game quite like Shannon Sharp. Kellen Winslow is the other guy that comes to mind in that regard.
First down throw, complete to Padre Ismail at the 36-yard line. Bonnie?
Well, with Brian Billick and Randall Cunningham both in Minnesota in '98 when the Vikings set the scoring record in the NFL, how much is this offense like the Ravens? Well, Randall just said that's exactly the question I asked Brian when he called me in May, and he said it's basically the same thing. So Randall said, okay, where do I sign? But he said he's never been comfortable playing the backup role, so he's always prepped as a starter in terms of keeping an eye on what's going on during practice and during film work. So it's basically been the same for him this week, except he got all the reps.
At Minnesota, they were 15-1, that combination. Billick is the offensive coordinator, and Danny Clark makes a statement from his linebacker spot. The young man from Illinois with a sack.
Yeah, Danny Clark getting a start at weak linebacker. TJ Slaughter not able to go for the Jags. And boy, now that's the way as a linebacker you get upfield before the line. You know, Ian Badejo has no shot at making any sort of a move to the outside. Great burst to the ball by Danny Clark. You know, I wonder why Cunningham would want to reunite with Brian Billick. He only had 34 touchdowns against only 10 interceptions in '98. How's it? Over 3-1. That's spectacular.
3rd and 8, and Cunningham with no chance. Gary Walker and Seth Payne inside, and Hardy from outside just push the lineman of the Ravens back into his lap, and the sack recorded.
Well, getting lost in all of the Jacksonville problems is how well this defensive team has been playing all year, and that's just blowing up the pocket. There's just nothing for Randall Cunningham to do. He's got linemen back in his face. Mike Flynn gets driven all the way back. This is a defensive team that has only given up a grand total of, what, 72 points so far this year.
Kyle Richardson's punt. Beautiful spiral to Damon Gibson. Lets it bounce.
Look at that.
Richardson, who led the league inside the 20 the last 2 years. And you can't kick him much better than that.
That looked like a sand wedge, a Balata ball, and Tiger Woods. Watch how effectively Damon Gibson fakes his catching this punt, letting it go over his head. James Trapp doesn't know where the ball is and then gets knocked flat on his back. But Jacksonville wasn't counting on that punt just stopping dead at the 2-yard line.
Shannon Taylor covered it. First down at the 4 for Brunell and the Jaguars. Elvis Joseph gets outside and then tripped up at the 12-yard line. A good pickup on first down. Well, let's look ahead. CBS doubleheader next Sunday, and here's the lineup.
Now, keep in mind, this Cleveland-Chicago game is now going to be late, and the Indianapolis-Buffalo game is now going to be early. But it all starts with our crew in New York.
They're always early.
They're always early. But we've moved that Chicago game to the late time slot, and we'll have a little fun with that.
That'll be a terrific game, the way the Browns are playing, and the Bears, two of the big surprise teams this year. Michael McCreary makes the tackle on 2nd and short, but only a half-yard gain by Joseph on that carry. Coughlin describing Joseph, who has excellent speed, 4.36, as a good but very raw talent. But he just is looking for some help at that running back position. Stacey Mack has shown some good running style at times, but has fumbled, made a mistake late in the game last week against Buffalo.
And they just can't keep Fred Taylor healthy.
3rd down 2, Brunell. Down the middle, complete to Jimmy Smith in the open field. Hit from behind and tackled at the 35. Chris McAllister made the stop. Big throw from Brunell to Smith.
Well, Jimmy Smith running the in pattern, and it's just an absolute perfect strike. Take a look at him. He's going to clear in right there behind McCardell. And even though Chris McAllister was right with Jimmy Smith and ends up catching him and making the tackle, just a absolutely perfect strike.
Jimmy Smith, who leads his team in receptions this year, 4th in the league with 36 catches coming in.
After another terrible offseason of surgery.
This time Brunell has to eat the ball as James Trapp, as an extra defensive back, puts the trap bite on the quarterback for the sack.
Well, Trapp might have been faked out on that punt, but he was not faked out on the blitz. Coming in from the left side right there, working inside, James Trapp. He was supposed to be blocked on the play.
Elvis Joseph missed him.
You went low. As a running back, stay high when you're blocking a blitzer. Joseph goes down around the ankles. It's just too easy. Elvis, this is the NFL. Blitzers will hurdle you when you go down around their ankles.
Second down, 18. Flag down.
I think we had a false start there. I think Todd Fordham, the left tackle, twitched.
Pass intended for Jimmy Smith, incomplete downfield. Well, you old linemen know what a twitch is all about.
Well, twitch is all it takes to get the flag, and Todd Fordham attempting to fill the biggest shoes in Jacksonville's history as they racked up penalty number 6, but he's trying to play for Tony Baselli, and that's not easily done, Dick.
And you talk about Baselli, who's still trying to help out the young linemen, but you made an interesting comment, and then so did Coughlin, that, you know, even how you're a Hall of Famer, if you're not playing, you don't have the impact talking to your teammates that you do when you're in uniform. And Brunell has to save another 5-yard penalty as the play clock ran out. 4:38 remaining before the intermission. Tied at 3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV, the #1 digital satellite entertainment provider, and by Staples. Staples has everything you need for your business at great low prices.
Super Bowl kings here, the Baltimore Ravens, and Monday on CBS we invite you to spend Halloween with the King of Queens. It's an episode so funny it's scary. Monday on CBS. Ray Lewis, the all-pro middle linebacker, top tackler for the Ravens, now going for 6 straight years, but been fairly quiet today. Second down, 23. Part of the reason is Brunell continues to throw to the sideline, complete. Elvis Joseph out of the backfield to the 31-yard line. Follow all the games on NFL.com, and after the games, get in-depth analysis and recaps from the experts. It's at NFL.com or AOL keyword NFL.com.
Well, Dick, it's just reached the point that most teams just concede the fact that they can't run the football against this Raven defense. They set a 16-game record last year, less than 61 yards a game. It's just they're only giving up 63 yards a game this year. Those are meager pickings.
Only 2.6 per carry. Now third down and long. Brunell into the flat. Good move by Keenan McCardell, and he fights close to a first down and is brought to the turf about 1.5 yards shy. Michael McCrary, and that's good hustle by him to chase the play.
Well, Baltimore just trying to, again, just come with 4 guys, dropping 7, realizing in this long yardage situation, if they just keep everybody in front of them, they won't break enough tackles to get the first down, and that's exactly the case there. They'll concede 10 or 12, but they know they've got all of it happening in front of them, and they're good tacklers.
Chris Hansen now to punt to Jermaine Lewis. Kick into that northerly wind. Lewis forced out of bounds as he fields it inside the 20-yard line. Wednesday on CBS, what began as a race around the world has become TV's greatest adventure, and with only 5 teams left, their biggest challenges are just ahead. Don't miss an all-new Amazing Race Wednesday on CBS. And a reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll have all the scores and highlights, and then after our game 2 of our doubleheader, Oakland at Philadelphia. Many of you will see that game. Oakland leading the AFC West and Philly leading the NFC East. That'll be a big one. Greg Gumbel and Phil Simms standing by there. Cunningham into the flat. Completes it to Brookins, who was hit down at the 25-yard line by Fernando Bryant.
Boy, you could hear. Well, that was plastic meeting plastic right there. That sounded like a helmet-to-helmet hit from up here. James Brookins, a big, solid back as he cuts back to the inside. Keep a look to the left side of your screen. Whoa, is he tagged right there. Yeah, that's number 56, Edgerton Hartwell coming over. Whoa, let me switch sports here. Hardy Nickerson. It would have been Hartwell if that would have been Baltimore's defense.
You were close. Cunningham down the middle. Complete to Shannon Sharp. First down at the 41-yard line. Ainsley battles the safety with a stop.
The dreaded pitfalls of live television.
Take two. Moving up on the 2-minute timeout at 2:02.
How about these last two throws by Randall? Pinpoint.
Still tied at 3. Couple of field goals tied at 3. And we've talked about the Raven defense. This Jacksonville defense has only allowed 5 touchdowns in 5 games.
They've been really superb all season long, although they're going to be tested right now. Baltimore still has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Obviously, Randall, a veteran quarterback who knows what to do. And this is where he can be so dangerous running in this situation, picking up valuable yardage.
First down at the Baltimore 41, 2 minutes to go. Cunningham has to throw it away. He had Shannon Sharp in the area. And a reminder, coming up at halftime, the next halftime report with Jim Nantz and his team. We'll give you all the scores and early highlights of the 1 o'clock games.
You won't see that completion, by the way, in the box scores. Cunningham to Stover. Matt Stover caught that baby on the sidelines. Looked very adept, you know. Maybe it's a secret weapon here. Pretty efficient for Randall, 9 out of 13.
Goes with 3 wides. Travis Taylor in motion. Throws complete to Taylor, but only for 3 yards at most. Aaron Beasley all over it defensively. Clock running at 1:42. And an injured Raven is number 66, Benny Anderson. He says, I'll stay in here. Tennessee State. And the Jaguars again showing a tenacious defense. Timeout. Jacksonville. Ray Lewis and the Ravens have stopped the Jaguars, but Jacksonville has returned the favor. Tied at 3, and it's 3rd down and 6 at the 45 for Cunningham in Baltimore. Jacksonville using that timeout, figuring if they can stop them here, they'll have a chance perhaps to score themselves. Throw over the middle. How did he get it to Shannon Sharp? He was grabbed by one leg, and Cunningham strong enough to be able to hit his tight end again for a first down.
How did either one of them do it? Randall Cunningham with a Jaguar draped all over him, and Shannon Sharp with Thomas all over him with coverage. Right at his feet, you can see going down. Randall Cunningham throws it, and look at the coverage on Shannon Sharp. Thomas is right there, almost pulls his arm down. Why, it just doesn't get much better than that.
Gary Walker was the man at the other end, hassling Cunningham, and the play by Kewauke Thomas against Sharp. Timeout Baltimore, their first. And Shannon Sharp moving ever closer to Ozzie Newsome, his boss here in Baltimore. He needed 13 to catch him. See this question mark,
Dick? See that question mark?
Yes.
Yeah, you can
put an exclamation point.
Yes.
Has not caught a touchdown pass, however, in 10 games. That's frustrated Shannon Sharp. Now on first down. Out of the backfield, Badeja. Good yardage to the 40. A gain of about 7, and stops the clock with 1:23 left. And a reminder again, Nextel halftime report. Jim, Mike, Randy, Jerry, they'll have all their comments on the scores and highlights, and also the latest NFL news, plus a CBS News update on America on Guard.
What a luxury for Brian Billick and the Baltimore Ravens to have a guy in reserve the caliber of Randall Cunningham.
2nd down and 3. Over the middle. Incomplete. And no flag yet, although Shannon Sharp wanted one. Kewauke Thomas, 5th round pick a year ago, number 41 on the coverage.
Shannon claiming that he was mugged. He's going to just release to the inside, just a couple stagger steps. Oh, no wonder he was complaining. Kawaki Thomas again with the play, only that time he was there well before the football and should have drawn the flag.
Ian Badejo, the lone running back now on 3rd down and 3. They're basically out of field goal range. The throw over the middle to Taylor to the 35. That's enough for a first down. The Ravens have 2 timeouts remaining, and we'll use one of those right here.
See, that's a matchup if I'm Baltimore I really like. Travis Taylor at 6'1", going against a smaller corner in Fernando Bryant.
If it's Thursday night on CBS, it's Survivor. Find out why just getting a drink of water can be a life-threatening adventure. Don't miss an all-new Survivor Thursday on CBS. These 2 teams trying to survive modest losing streaks. Jacksonville 3 in a row. Baltimore 2 in a row. Cunningham goes down. Kevin Hardy, he's found that crease up the middle twice and now has 6 sacks on the season.
Well, Baltimore in an I formation, Dick, which, you know, is really a classic running formation. And they split the backs out of there and leaving the middle wide open. And boy, did Hardy take advantage of it. Randall had no chance.
Now under a minute to go.
Here they go with the I again.
2nd and 18. Into the flat. Complete to Brookins to the 40. Far short of the first down, and Cunningham spends the final Baltimore timeout.
Boy, I got some weapons in Ismail, Taylor, and Shannon Sharp, and yet they go to Jason Brookins, a guy who's not really figured into their passing game all season long. I guess they're trying to fool Gary Moeller and the Jacksonville defense, but no go.
We should remind you again, Matt Stover, because of that quadriceps injury, his range probably made a 49-yarder earlier, but that's probably it. Now, Danny Kite, who has just signed this week for kickoff purposes, if they do want to try an extraordinarily long field goal, Kite might be the man. He's been warming up on the sidelines. There's Stover, and he too, if they can move closer. But right now it would be
the risk you take, though, Dick, if it's Danny Kite that we're looking at right now kicking, is he's a low driving kicker, and anytime a guy like that attempts a long field goal, the chance of a block, and of course a block can be run back, so it's a risk.
Sacks allowed today in the last 3 games. That has bothered Baltimore. 3rd and long. Cunningham rolling. No one open. Throws incomplete. In and out of the hands of Kadri Ismail.
Boy, once again, the Jags defense comes up big. You cannot in any way be critical of this group and the way they have been playing. Randall buying extra time again. Kevin Hardy's coming up, forcing him to throw, and right on the hands.
Well, the punt is the call here. Kyle Richardson comes in. Damon Gibson, who's had a couple of good kick returns in this first half, stands at the 10. Gibson, and the fair catch at the 8-yard line. With 31 seconds for Jacksonville, they have 1 timeout. And college football Saturday, the Home Depot SEC football event, LSU and Alabama. It all starts with Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman on College Football Today, right here on CBS Sports. The Tigers and the Tide next Saturday. Boy, a tough day for the unbeatens yesterday in college football. Oklahoma, UCLA, Washington State, Virginia Tech. Frank Moreau and Washington behind Brunell, and the give is to Moreau for a couple of yards, and no intent by Tom Coughlin to try something dangerous from so deep in his own end. He's satisfied with a 3-all tie here in the first half.
You know, one of the surprise teams of the year. How about Stanford? They've come up with a couple of big wins yesterday. They beat UCLA yesterday.
They can put some points on the board.
They sure can.
The Cardinals. Well, defense versus defense here the first 30 minutes in Baltimore. The story, A couple of field goals. Stover for Baltimore first from 49, and Mike Hollis answers from 40 to give the Jacksonville their 3. Bonnie?
Well, Dick, the Jaguars have certainly had their chances. Good field position, particularly on the first 2 drives. Why the struggle to capitalize?
Well, we struggled. We brought the ball down. We decided to be aggressive. Didn't make it in a quarterback sneak. Had a good play called. They got in a position where they covered the tight end, and we didn't. So we, instead of getting points, we drove the ball. But it was a sign of aggressiveness and confidence. I think our guys fed on that, and it's a good signal for us. It's 3-3. It's anybody's game in the second half.
Good, appreciate it. Dick?
Yep, down the road, Coughlin happy with that 3-3 tie, and certainly mighty pleased with the way his defense performed in the first half. That's the end of the first 30 minutes here in Baltimore. Jacksonville 3, Baltimore 3. Coming up next, the Nextel halftime report on CBS.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Direct Connect Halftime Report. Nextel, get right through.
And hello, friends. Happy Halloween. Welcome to the Nextel Halftime Report. Jim Nance from our NFL Today studios. And Mike Ditka, Randy Cross, Jerry Glanville alongside. We've reached halftime now in Baltimore. 3-3. That's it. How about this Ravens defense? 10 quarters now, Mike, without an interception.
Well, Jerry talked about the bite being out of Tampa Bay's defense earlier today. Well, the bite is out of their defense. There's a lot going on. Not very much of it's good. Cunningham has played very well in the football game. But here you go. Look early. This is Brunel. Moves around. I think he moves out of the pocket here. Throws the ball. It's incomplete. This was 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1.
Jimmy Smith out of bounds. Brunel comes back, though.
He's sacked. Now watch this play right here now. Brunel drops back. This is the best play of the football game right here. He runs 38 yards for a first down. And he ought to carry the ball more.
That used to be one of the best things he did, Mike.
That's right. And I think he's scared to do it right now.
All right, let's take everybody around the NFL today. Cincinnati struck on the first play from scrimmage. The Lions just got a touchdown a moment ago. Corey Dillon broke it big. Longest play in Cincinnati history, Randy.
Well, the Bengals have absolutely dominated this game. Much like this play here by Corey Dillon, 96 yards. It's been all Cincinnati. If you look at the stats, Detroit has hung. Desmond Howard just minutes ago, 91-yard punt return. They followed up with a touchdown. That's why the score is what it is. But Dick LeBeau has seen his team get all over Charlie Batch in Detroit. Justin Smith here with the interception. He is ripping rookie Jeff Backus, the left tackle for the Detroit Lions, taking advantage of him and really chasing Charlie Batch. I think Matt Millen would trade right now with Brent Jones, who's in the booth for us there in Detroit. And Cincinnati with Darnay Scott. Darnay Scott, kind of the ignored weapon. Brent's been talking about him. Get the ball to him more often. And here, after the Desmond Howard 91-yard punt return, Lamont Warren brings this one in 21-13. And folks, it isn't even this close. Yeah. They should have 28 or 35 points in Cincinnati.
And Rackers missed another field goal. He's under 50% on the season for Cincinnati. Meanwhile, the Jets and Carolina, some strange plays in that first quarter. Jets lead it only because the Panthers missed a PAT. 218 total yards for the Jets in this game. George Seifert trying to come back from a 5-game losing streak. And look at this. Richie Anderson fumbles. Richard Anderson picks it up for the Panthers.
And one thing as you keep watching this football game, the Jets keep giving the opportunities away here.
Well, the extra point missed. The Jets, though, they take advantage of this. Blocked by Henderson, recovered by Hayes. And the PAT gave him the lead. And just right a moment ago, on the last play of the half, Casey with a field goal give the Panthers a 9-7 lead. They're going to the locker room. Meanwhile, the Saints and the Rams. Boy, did the Rams jump on them early. 21-6 now in that one.
Well, it has been all St. Louis. What a domination so far. And Aaron Brooks has just had a complete vapor lock mentally, I think, at quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Hey, look at the numbers that Bruce and Holt. You talked about it in the pregame, Mike. Holt puts up some numbers.
Yeah, he's a good man. And in this game right here, the 49ers really have dominated. The Bears have come up with a safety. Now they're driving again. But I tell you, they knocked one quarterback out of the game. They look like they're going to knock Matthews out of the game also. The 49ers playing physical football in Chicago.
Yep, Jim Miller is out with a bruised left hip. 49ers up in that one. But I'll tell you, the blowout of the day down at How about this at halftime?
Let the big dog
20-0 in first downs. The Vikings have run only 12 plays from scrimmage.
And Tampa Bay up front looks like a different football team, and they run the football to pass 2-1. They're just like the old Tampa Bay used to be, knocking the devil out of ball.
Doubleheader day on CBS coming up. Most of you are going to see Oakland against Philadelphia. Straight ahead, though, CBS News, America on Guard. Thanks for being with us on the Nextel Halftime Report.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Direct Connect Halftime Report. Nextel, get right through. CBS Sports presents the Nextel Direct Connect Halftime Report. Nextel, get right through.
And welcome back to Baltimore. Second half, 3-3, and the Ravens will get the ball first. First half, you take away Brunell's run of 38 yards. The Jacksonville Jaguars had 17 yards rushing and Baltimore 14 yards.
Well, Dick, it's really simple. Two teams that have problems on the offensive line, two teams that really don't have a very good running back. So really not much of a surprise that neither one of them is effectively running the football.
So it may boil down well to which team can pass most effectively. It was pretty much a draw in the first half. Brunell against veteran Randall Cunningham. Lewis and Harris are deep as Jim Tarl has it teed up for Jacksonville. Lewis, ever dangerous at the 7. Baltimore native. Went on to play at the University of Maryland out to the 32-yard line where Danny Clark makes the tackle. Here are the numbers in the first half, Dan.
And we talked about nobody's rushing the football. You see it highlighted right there. For Jacksonville, this is disturbing. Only 1 of 5 on third down conversion. They came into this game ranked 29th in the NFL. If you don't convert your third downs, you don't sustain drives. And we've seen good field position squandered by Jacksonville.
And this is the quarter that has haunted the Ravens this year. Outscored 48-20.
No turnovers in this game so far. Will the first one be a killer?
Brookins, and the rushing difficulties continue. Bonnie?
Brian Billick generally happy with Randall Cunningham's first start as a Raven. He said he missed a couple hot throws that resulted in sacks, but that just comes from not having enough live reps. We're hoping he sees the field better in the second half. Defensively, pleased with his troops. He said, yeah, that one long scramble by Brunell hurt us, but we've really been able to keep Smith under control. Remember last year, that one game, 291 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns, Dick.
All right, thank you, Bonnie. No gain on first down, and here's Cunningham throwing to the sidelines and caught. It's Qadry Ismail who was able to steal the ball away from Ainsley Battles. Battles had a shot at a pick, but Qadry Ismail won the battle. It was Aaron Beasley who was up trying to make the interception, and Battles had to cover for him and make the tackle.
Yeah, Beasley gambled. You know, he's a cornerback that has a lot of confidence. He gets his hands on the football, but loses his footing. And Ismail is able to stay upright and bring in the football. So Aaron Beasley, he took a chance that corners have to take. You got to be aggressive. You can't fault the corner for that. You got to try to make a play.
20 yards on the play, and now Ian Badesio. And he's able to get down to the 42-yard line. A gain of almost 5 before Kevin Hardy and Danny Clark can collaborate on the tackle. Ian Badesio, who's brother was in the camp of the Ravens this summer, signed as a free agent, a linebacker out of UCLA. Ian Badesio, senior of Bafemi, played at San Diego State.
Yeah, he ended up on injured reserve last year, Dick. He had a toe issue that kept him from playing effectively and finally put him on the injured reserve.
Ian Badesio, first down, and the fans almost a Bronx cheer as they yell out for a sizable run. A sizable meaning almost 7-8 yards.
Well, they're helped by the fact that Edwin Mulatalo is back in the game at left guard. We saw him leave early to get an ankle injury retaped, and so that's a help when it comes to muscling the football. Edwin, just a compact 6'3", 340, a slight lad.
On first down, Brookins, a big hole. 30, 20, all the way to the 14-yard line.
Well, some signs of life in the Raven running game here in the beginning of the second half. This is just straight ahead power football right off the right side, taking advantage of blocks by Anderson. Take a look at there. Look at Anderson come off number 66 and get the key block there that seals off the inside.
And then Sam Gash, leading his way, took out the defensive back.
Nothing new about that, is there?
35 yards rushing on this drive. Now Brookins into heavy traffic. Not much there.
Well, that time Brookins didn't follow Sam Gash.
Brookins is from Mexico, Missouri, and went to Little Lane College. Played in NFL Europe with Rhine Fire this spring, so tutored there, and now with the injury to Jamal Lewis, so trying to give the Ravens some running gun.
He spent last year, Dick, on 3 different teams' practice squads.
There's Brookins again, head down, fighting inside the 10-yard line, but still 3 yards shy of a first down with third coming up.
I think if you would have asked Brian Billick that what would be your response if in a critical game in October against Jacksonville, Jason Brookins is going to be your go-to guy in the running game, I don't think he would have said, what kind of a moronic question is that to ask me? Jason Brookins, who dat?
Brookins actually was with Jacksonville for a couple of weeks on their practice squad last year.
But they have worked their way through the lineup trying to find somebody to carry the ball. It's Brookins' turn.
First possession of this second half, and the Ravens have taken it down to the Jacksonville 7, where it is third down and a short 4. And hit in the backfield is Mo Williams. Didn't fool Kevin Hardy a bit. Hardy's been living in the backfield of the Ravens the entire game.
Kevin Hardy has a sack already in this game. We've seen him blitzing. We've seen him stuffing the run. Coverage downfield. Boy, how's that for crashing to the inside, beating the blocker, and Kevin Hardy just can't play much better than he's playing now. All-star game to this point.
Stover then with a short field goal attempt of 28 yards. And he hooks it through. Now the battle of field goals continues. Baltimore now up by 3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be. CDW, computing solutions built for business. And by the all-new 200 horsepower Acura RSX Type S.
And welcome back to Baltimore, where the Ravens have taken the lead 6-3 on the 28-yard field goal by Matt Stover, going 58 yards with a kickoff to start this second half. Now Danny Kite to Gibson in Washington. And it's Gibson that sees it go into the end zone, and the fans will cheer that, something that Stover rarely was able to do. And Kite delivers the promise that he brought here after kicking off for Indianapolis the last 2 seasons. Tonight on 60 Minutes, did Saddam Hussein have a hand in the terror attack on the U.S.? Leslie Stahl will report from Iraq tonight on 60 Minutes.
Dick, this football game has the feel of a Raven game from last October. Remember, they didn't score a touchdown the entire month of October. It was all Matt Stover. I think he scored, what, 49 consecutive points for the Ravens last year. That's what we've seen so far today, all field goals.
Elvis Joseph is the running back. That's Brady setting up as a blocker. And on first down, fumble, and it's recovered by Baltimore. Ray Lewis recovers the hit. And a flag. Wait, we'll see if this counts. A flag down. And they're pointing downfield, the Jaguars, as if there might have been holding in the secondary.
I think that was Michael McCrary that went all the way around the corner and made the hit on Mark Brunell.
Oh, that's a big call, as the Ravens would have had the ball inside the 15. Instead, the Jacksonville Jaguars benefit from this holding call downfield. A first down goes with it. James Trapp.
James Trapp is working right here, working in the slot against Keenan McCardell. And right there, all you can see is left hand right up in the face mask of McCardell.
Yeah, no question about that one.
Yep, James Trapp, who actually got fined this week by the National Football League for a hit in last week's game against Cleveland. And boy, that, like you say, Dick, boy, that negates. We haven't had a turnover in this game. That would have been the first one.
McCrary, wow, forcing the fumble, but Trapp negates that with his penalty. So it's a first down, Jacksonville at their 25. Brunell hits Jimmy Smith, and Smith the first down out at the 43, toppled by Corey Harris. Boy, Brunell, and he can be so pinpoint on his passes. Here's another.
Well, that time Dwayne Starks just allowed the inside release of Jimmy Smith. Didn't, you know, I think he wanted to make a little contact, wanted to slow Smith down, not give him that clean inside break. When he gets away clean, Mark Brunell's going to make that completion every time.
Smith gets 19 yards on that catch, 69 for 3. Brunell to the sidelines, and Smith open again. Did he stay in bounds? Yes. At the 44 or 45 now of the Ravens, another first down.
And again, it's the matchup of Jimmy Smith. This is McCardell, rather, working against Dwayne Starks. Dwayne Starks giving a monstrous cushion that time to Jimmy Smith. And it's just a case of Dwayne Starks has been victimized, and he's playing a little soft. He said, I know Smith will try me deep. Why wouldn't they after they burned me last year?
Stacy Mack comes up to ask Brunell. And there's a twitch from the left tackle Fordham that drew McCrary offside.
I think Kyle Brady, the tight end, moved too. Fordham's the left tackle, 78. Brady's the tight end. This is here. The two of them are right here. There goes the hip first. Then you see the twitch by Brady. They both move, but unfortunately for Fordham, he moves first, so he gets the call.
So first and 15, ball dissected by the 50-yard line. Hand off inside. And powering forward is Stacy Mack for a gain of 5. 6-3 Baltimore here. What do you have for us, Jim?
Well, it's tightening in Detroit. 2 Desmond Howard kick returns have set up short touchdowns for the Lions. This one, the little flip from Baxter Sloan. Back to you.
Now the Lions still with some growl after they were down early. Brunell fires to McCardell. Hit immediately, fumbled the ball, and they're rolling in a fumble covered by the Ravens. Rob Burnett came up with the ball for Baltimore.
Well, right now, Tom Coughlin is trying to get some advice from upstairs. Was this a catch? Was this a completion? That's his only hope. And no question that Keenan McCardell caught the football, put it away, and that looked like a legitimate catch. And I think we now have the game's first turnover.
Dwayne Starks and James Trapp with a hit to force the ball free from McCardell. And Baltimore takes over at the 44. 8 minutes plus remaining third quarter. 6-3 Ravens. Brookins staggers out for about 5 to the 49. Ronaldo Wynn, who played at Notre Dame, and Gary Walker, former Auburn star, make the stop for Jacksonville.
Well, Baltimore ends up, Dick, with the turnover, but it was about a 40-yard difference in field position as to where they got it the first time. Rob Burnett, who's got a broken left hand, you can see that cast he's wearing right there that doesn't allow him the use of his fingers. Awfully hard to play defensive lineman without the ability to grab.
Brookins again, close to a first down at the 46 of the Jaguars. Win again, the tackler. Well, tomorrow, always a big night on CBS, a night of Halloween hysteria, starting with the King of Queens. So funny, it's scary, followed by Yes Dear, and Monday's #1 comedy, Everybody Loves Raymond. Then stay tuned for Ted Dawson dancing in Becker, and don't miss an all-new Family Law. It's all here Monday on CBS. It is a first down close to the 45. Brookins now with 41 yards rushing as he starts for the first time. Cunningham winds up and goes deep for Taylor. Incomplete, and again shielded well by Fernando Bryant defensively, who wanted an offensive push. And a foul.
Well, Fernando Bryant just can't cover a guy any better than him. Now see how he's always looking back. See how he's always looking at the ball, back to the ball. As a cornerback, that is so critical. He just doesn't give Travis Taylor a chance at all. And Randall gets that about a nanosecond off before he's brought down from behind by Gary Walker.
You know, Tom Coughlin yesterday said Walker's highly underrated. He said he'll always make some big plays for us. Here's Brookins on a draw, breaking tackles and carrying Jaguars to a first down at the 35. Brookins showing some power, this 235-pounder.
Well, and you just said why Jason Brookins is in the National Football League. It's because of his power. And this is just a little delayed draw. Outstanding blocking up front, but he gets away from Danny Clark, who really had him around the legs and just slid off. This all of a sudden no running game in the first half, and Baltimore has found one here in the third quarter.
Back to Brookins. Can't get inside this time. No gain. Shut off by Paul Spicer and Tony Brackens. Spicer, who played at Saginaw Valley State,
that NFL hotbed
in Michigan. My first serious job, WSAM in Saginaw. They paid me $2 an hour as a weekend disc jockey. Always be fond in my heart.
Not doing sports, you were a DJ?
Yeah.
You were spinning the platters?
You got it, the wax. I am Badejo.
But I wouldn't give for a couple of those old tapes.
I'd like to hear it myself. I think my voice has even changed since then. And Badejo gets it to the 31-yard line. Now in field goal territory for the Ravens, and you have to think threes the way this game is developed.
Well, Brian Billick has been conservative, working with Matt Cavanaugh, his offensive coordinator. Are they going to let Randall let him try to make a play here? You know, the guy can still run.
3rd and 6. Oh, can't run when you've got Gary Walker and his 306 pounds, and Marcus Stroud as well, the rookie, bringing you down.
Well, this time Benny Anderson, the right guard, number 66, look at him go down on Walker, but you got to do more than just lean on a guy. You got to hit him. As the right guard, Anderson's got to try to move Walker. You just can't ride him back as he grabs your quarterback. Just an outstanding play by Gary Walker. What an addition he's been for the Jacksonville Jaguars, coming over from Tennessee in '99.
5th sack for the Jaguars in the game. Damon Gibson back as Richardson sends one of those dying spirals, and Gibson fair catches just inside the 10-yard line. So the Jaguars overcome the fumble. It remains 6-3.
Well, there's the beef. There's Tony Siragusa and there's Sam Adams, and that's why they're on the sidelines on first down, because 11 passes on first down against only 4 runs. So Baltimore responding to that by putting in better pass rushing defensive linemen, figuring that Jacksonville's going to go to the air. Now, if I'm Jacksonville and I see those guys out of there, you might be more predisposed to try to run.
Larry Webster and Lionel Dalton are the defensive tackles on first down. And they will run. And the give is to Stacy Mack, who is stacked up at about the 12-13-yard line. Mack at 236 pounds, played at Temple, one of those undrafted players in the backfield for Jacksonville today.
I think this is a trend that we're just going to see everybody use. I think you just concede the fact that you can't run the ball when Siragusa and Adams are in there at defensive tackle. Try to force them to the sidelines by passing on first down. It makes too much sense not to do so.
Now to the shotgun on 2nd and 7, Brunell. Good patience, finds McCardell, and it's a first down out at the 25-yard line. Ray Lewis made the tackle.
Too much time for Mark Brunell. Not much of a pass rush that time by the Ravens, and with his receivers and that much time, you're looking at a guaranteed completion.
Now this time, Dan, they bring in Adams and Rob Burnett on first down.
Well, it was a Jacksonville run last time. Let's see if they go away with it. Tough to miss old Big Sam over the center there.
Brunell under pressure, throws it. Is it no catch? Didn't get both feet down. Jimmy Smith, 1 foot down, but not the second.
Watch it.
Look at that. Tampa Bay 34 over Minnesota.
Jimmy Smith yelling at the line judge here to go ahead and look upstairs. Watch the replay. I had them both down. Well, let's see. Where's possession of the football? No. I don't think the left was down when he got possession of the football.
Close to a drag. Second and 10, Brunell shotgun. And a flag down as he ran out of his allotted time. Well, head coaches get very angry at delay of game. That means somebody isn't communicating quickly enough.
Well, either the play didn't come in quickly enough. It's hard to believe that a veteran quarterback like Mark Brunell lost track of the time. That's what happens a lot of times. There's a delay with all the packages and different calls that it's late coming in from the side. More often than not, that's who's to blame.
Second and 15. That's the 8th penalty against Jacksonville. Twice their average on the season. And he fires as he is hit out of bounds. And a flag goes down with it as Brunell hit as he threw the ball. This is going to be roughing against Baltimore.
Is that Peter Boulware who's putting up such an argument? Jeff Triplett has the call. Well, another big mistake keeps a Jacksonville drive alive. Brunell's got time, releases the ball. Yeah, you can't, you just can't do it. Peter Boulware, he really didn't hit Mark Brunell, but you know what? He shoved him to the ground after he'd taken a couple steps. It's just totally unnecessary. Why run the risk? You're going to get called for it.
And he had plenty of time not to do it.
No, he just didn't think that one through.
First down at the 35. Brunell to this side, complete. McCardell first down at the 48-yard line. McAllister and Woodson on the coverage, but Brunell, helped by the penalty, continues to find open receivers.
Well, a game that's being played this close to the vest, is going to be decided by a handful of plays that are either a mistake, a turnover, or something, and you just can't afford to give someone as easy a first down as Baltimore just did to Jacksonville.
Handoff. No, Brunell fakes the handoff and keeps it. And then runs it out of bounds at the 40 of the Ravens. Another first down. A gain of 12 more. McAllister made the play.
That fake was so good. I'm not sure what's fake. Do you think that this one? Let's take a look at it. No, if Mark Brunell was going to look at the way, though, that Stacey Mack turned around and looked at Brunell.
As if that was supposed to go to me.
I think so. I think Mark Brunell at the last minute took it away from Stacey Mack and didn't give it to him. Mack wouldn't have turned around and looked at Brunell if that wasn't just all Mark.
Now on first down, Brunell has running room to this side and will take advantage. Ducks out of bounds at the 35-yard line with a gain of 5 more. He's the leading rusher for the Jaguars today. 55 yards running for Mark Brunell.
And that was really smart of Brunell because he took advantage of the fact that Stacey Mack cuts Michael McCrary. Here's McCrary right here. Watch him go upfield. Here comes Stacey Mack. When he sees McCrary on the ground, he knows contained to that side is gone. And that's Mark Brunell. That's just being very smart, realizing there's nobody to that side to keep me in the pocket.
Jaguars moving into field goal range, trailing by only 3. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Second and 5. Brunell skips this one. Jimmy Smith down on his knees, and Brunell wisely throwing that one where no one could catch it.
And luckily, Mark saw that Jimmy Smith had slipped trying to stop his pattern, and he saw it soon enough that he was able to just throw it away.
3rd down and 5.
That's the kind of a pass you see a lot, Dick, where the receiver slips that gets returned for a touchdown. Because the quarterback doesn't see him down, throws it right to the corner.
Brunell's the man for Jacksonville, running and passing, almost a one-man show. Big 3rd and 5. Wide open, McCardell. He's going to go all the way. He's at the 5. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Check that, it's Jimmy Smith with a touchdown. Smith, 82, who has burned this Baltimore defense time and time again, as he did last year, and comes through again for the Jaguars.
Jimmy Smith just comes in. Look at it. He just sits down, just a little 6-yard in sit-down pattern, and then it's a missed tackle from that point. You don't see that type of a pattern ending up being a touchdown against this Baltimore defense. They're just too good at tacklers. A huge mistake by the Ravens.
High snap, but nevertheless, Mike Hollis drills it through. The first touchdown of the game, and Jimmy Smith from Brunell giving the Jaguars the lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Cellular One. When you need a cell phone, Cellular One is here. And by your neighborhood 7-Eleven store. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
The Brunell to Jimmy Smith connection clicks again. 3rd touchdown for the season for Smith. He had 3 in just one game here in Baltimore a year ago. And we mentioned that the 3rd quarter has been the tough quarter for the Ravens. They've allowed 55 points in the 3rd quarter now. They allowed 43 all of last season in the 3rd quarter. It has been a different season for the Super Bowl champions. Jermaine Lewis ready to return the kick from Jim Tarl.
Although a year ago against Jacksonville in this very stadium, Dick, Baltimore had to come from behind. It was Tony Banks, the quarterback, in that. My, how this league changes in a hurry.
Here comes Lewis looking for a crease. He's got one. He's across the 45-yard line and pushed out of bounds by the kicker Tarl. So good field position for the Ravens with 1:09 left in the 3rd. The most prolific receiver in the NFL the last 5 years, Jimmy Smith, 450 catches coming in to this season, and he has the first touchdown of the game, and Jacksonville leads at 10-6. Cunningham screens it. Ryan Badejo loses yardage. About 7-yard loss. Fernando Bryant read it well.
Let's go back and look at that touchdown. It's Dwayne Starks. Here's Starks lined up at corner. But watch when this play starts. I think he's expecting inside help here from Peter Boulware. Now watch him point. He's going to point at Jimmy Smith, and then Starks goes to the outside. And you know what's really frustrating for a defense? That was a possession route. They weren't even trying to score a touchdown. That was a possession route to pick up a first down, and because of Baltimore blowing it, it becomes a touchdown.
2nd and 17, underneath, incomplete, and intercepted through the hands of Brookins, and intercepted by the veteran Hardy Nickerson, his 2nd of the season. The 36-year-old Nickerson, who played at California 15 years ago, has the big play now defensively late in the 3rd.
Well, Randall's upset, but you see it's just play action. Let's see it there. Let's look in the middle. Does Michael McCrary touch this? He sure does. He alters the ball. That ball bounces. Is that Stroud? I'm sorry. That's Stroud. Again, I got the yard. That's Marcus Stroud, who actually tips the ball, and it alters the path. So Brookins goes down trying to stab it, pops it up in the air to Nickerson.
Now the final minute of the 3rd quarter, 23 seconds remaining from the 45. Brunell looks for something big down the middle. Has McCardell at the 11-yard line. They've gone after Dwayne Starks again.
Well, that's aggressive play calling. Boy, now that's Bob Petrino, the new offensive coordinator, just going after it again against the Baltimore zone, and just on a post pattern into the zone, which shouldn't be that successful of a pattern against the zone defense. Brunell gets it to McCardell.
So the Jaguars are at the 11-yard line at the end of the third quarter, leading 10-6. We'll return to Baltimore right after this message and a word from your local station.
Watch this ball hit the helmet right there of Marcus Stroud at 6'6", and that created the turnover that started this drive for the Jags.
A fake to Sean Dawkins, and Brunell keeps it, and then at the last minute throws it to Stacey Mack. Was he in bounds? Yes, and Mack has it for a touchdown apparently. No signal yet, but there it is. Mack, as Brunell working the sideline, almost out of bounds, might have been out of bounds in the air when he fired that one to Mack in the corner of the end zone.
If you wouldn't have seen Mark Brunell do this so many times in his career, you'd say, oh no, I just didn't really see this. Now he is left-handed, rolling to his left, but look at that perfect pass that he throws to Stacey Mack. Mark Brunell has never done better than that. But he has been doing that, Dick, his entire career.
Now the Jaguars turn an interception into another touchdown, and now a commanding lead. Mack, who's been in Tom Coughlin's doghouse the last couple of weeks, comes through his first NFL touchdown reception, 11 yards on just a magnificent coordination with his quarterback Brunell. Skidding kick comes down to Jermaine Lewis at the 15. Breaks one tackle and squirts out to the 29-yard line. How did Brunell get that ball in there?
Well, at 31 years old, Dick, remember he's had several serious knee injuries over the course of his career, but he can still motor. Michael McCrary giving chase, Mark measuring all the way. And look at that, off of one leg, just delivers it. And how about Stacey Mack? Ray Lewis is in a position here chasing Mack, and he does a great job of getting him in bounds. And boy, I tell you what, Baltimore's defense right now back on their heels because of that guy, Mark Brunell.
And the Ravens' record, losing each time this year they trail going into the fourth quarter. Now, you always hear, Dan, about stretching the field. Well, Brunell didn't stretch it lengthwise, that 160 feet going in the width of the field. He took another 3 or 4 feet to get that ball in there.
Well, it's been the signature of his career, Dick. And, you know, because of the injuries, because of getting a little older, everybody says, well, geez, he doesn't run like Mark Brunell used to run. So what? He still runs plenty well enough.
Second down and 6. The Ravens. Cunningham underneath. Short pass. Be close to first down to Shannon Sharp. Kevin Hardy, the tackler. Well, the NFL.com question, the surprise teams this year. Which one has the best shot of going the distance? There are your options. Just log on, cast your vote at NFL.com. Last week, we asked about, with 2 minutes to go, 80 yards, and you'd want one quarterback to win you a game. And you said John Elway would be your pick over Joe Montana. 36% picked Elway. First down. Cunningham to the sideline, complete to Ismail, hit hard by Ainsley Battles, but bounces up with a first down in Jacksonville territory at the 42.
Now Jacksonville sitting back in a zone. Right there you're going to see Beasley, who just lets Ismail go back. Now, of course, we've got to get the secondary closing. Battles gets there, but not until Ismail, who did a nice job settling into that little buffer zone.
5 catches now for Ismail today. Hand off to Brookins up the middle. Burrows his way for 5 or 6. As we go down to Bonnie Bernstein.
We look at Qadry Ismail, and he's had so much more of an impact for the Ravens this year. The big difference, really, his health. He sprained his MCL in week 2. Only missed 2 games, but he told us it affected him the entire season, all the way through the Super Bowl. He said, I wasn't coming in and out of my cuts well. I couldn't get away from guys well. He said, those are strains I don't have to worry about this year, and it's made a big difference, Dick.
All right, the All-America sprinter and hurdler at Syracuse, younger brother of Rocket Ismail. Underneath this time to Shannon Sharp, who hasn't played as if he was injured, although here's a man who didn't take any practice catches all season or all week long and didn't warm up today with the receivers, but ready when the bell sounded.
Well, just another member of the 30-plus crowd that's playing here for the Baltimore Ravens. Brian Billick has assembled a very veteran squad. Sharp at 33. Elvis Gerbeck, the starting quarterback's 30. Randall's 38. Cadre's 30. Terry Allen, their starting running back's 33. This is not a young group.
Trailing 17-6. It's Brookins on first down for maybe a yard with 11:45 remaining. Gary Walker makes another play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You see the shades with the purple colors, and with our clocks now on standard time, portions of the field in sunlight, even though this is an early game, but mostly in shadows now.
We all got an extra hour last night.
Oh boy, the technical directors don't appreciate it, though, having to fight the sun and shadows with our camera shots.
It's like being at Texas Stadium.
Cunningham going to scramble, then shovels the ball forward to Sam Gash, and Gash has a first down at the 16-yard line. Seth Payne, who played at Cornell, chased him down.
The old Randall would have gone with that one. This is the veteran Randall. Oh, the pump fake, buys some time, and look at that. Sam Gash, known as a blocker, but a much better receiver than people think. He's very sure-handed, and as a dump-off receiver, he normally picks up the first down for you. Because you know why? The defenses don't pay any attention to Sam Gash.
And here's Jermaine Lewis. They slip him into the backfield. He's still on his feet and down to the 2-yard line. Jermaine Lewis, the smallest of the Ravens at the skill positions at 5'7", 180, and he has a first and goal, Baltimore.
Well, he ran right there like he was 6'3", 220. Some power by Jermaine Lewis. Take a look at this. Outstanding blocking. Even Randall Cunningham is out there giving it a little work. That's, boy, I tell you what. Jermaine Lewis, he has at times taken this football team on his back and just carried them to victories before with the return game.
First and goal from the 2. Brookins puts his head in there, and it's is it a touchdown? Yes, now the signal.
They ought to go for 2 here, Dick. Yep, Brian Billick signaling that they're going to go for 2 points, try to get within a field goal.
The touchdown makes it 17-12, and an impressive drive answering that score by Jacksonville just moments ago. Here's Brookins, and he'll want to collect that ball to add to the other 2 touchdowns rushing that he has this year. They come out with Ian Badejo, the only back, 3 wides. They're 1 for 3 this year, Baltimore, in 2-point conversions. Stokely can't make the play. Fernando Bryant does, the cornerback for Jacksonville. So it's a 5-point Jacksonville lead with less than 10 to go.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by 1010-220. For great long-distance rates anywhere in America and around the world, dial 1010-220. Edge Clean Shaving Gel. It helps lift dirt and oil every time you shave. And by the Principal Financial Group. We understand what you're working for.
Well, in the spirit, those ought to be orange outfits, though. A little pumpkin Halloween look, but nevertheless.
A cute couple regardless.
17-12, a 5-point lead, Jacksonville, as Baltimore kicks it off. Gibson and Washington back. Danny Kite, the new Raven, hits this one well. Gibson lets it go into the end zone, and we'll take the touchback. And we'll take a timeout. 9 minutes, 40 seconds left. 4th quarter. Jacksonville by 5. Last year's 40th year as owner of an NFL franchise. The Super Bowl championship was his. Art Modell. Times more difficult this year.
What a gentleman, though, Dick. What a gentleman.
And a lot of folks stood and cheered when Baltimore won it for Modell. They start at the 20, Jacksonville with a 5-point lead, and Brunell firing again, and McCardell lets that one get away. Let's go back to a critical 2-point try.
Well, Fernando Bryant comes up big. He's hiding back here in the background. Watch how he comes out of that stack, keeping an eye on the football all the way. And Brandon Stokely at only 5'11", really only a 1-inch height advantage on Bryant. But Bryant, because he knew where the football was the entire play, pleases the heck out of Tom Coughlin. Yes, sir.
He was a #1 draft pick 2 years ago out of Alabama, Bryant. 2nd and 10. Brunell to the sidelines, complete, and pushed out of bounds shy of the first down is Jimmy Smith by James Trapp. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
But how smart of Jacksonville here, protecting a lead, but not getting too conservative, staying with their game plan of throwing the ball on 1st down. He had a sure completion to Brady, who just dropped it, comes back on 2nd and 10 and makes the completion. But you can't bail out of what you got here now, Dick.
Another 100-yard game for Jimmy Smith. McCardell has 100 as well. They are thunder and lightning. 3rd down and 2. The quick throw incomplete. A flag is down, and it's going to be illegal procedure call against Jacksonville. Actually, Baltimore would have rather that play had gone on, wouldn't
You're
it?
exactly right, but they don't have the choice because the false start happened before the snap of the ball. The play never occurred.
There's a new record. 9 times now, McCardell and Smith with over 100 yards in the same game. Randy Moss and Chris Carter 8 times for Minnesota's Vikings. 3rd and 7. Brunell goes down in the grasp of Michael McCrary. He leads the team in sacks, and what a big play that was, but does it count? A flag is down again.
Well, that was at Todd Fordham expense again.
Against Jacksonville.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this was against Fordham as well.
You're right, Fordham.
Well, he's working against Michael McCrary there at the top. Turns his shoulders way too quickly. As an offensive tackle, you've got to keep your shoulders more parallel to the line of scrimmage and get a little deeper before you turn. He turned right at the line, giving McCrary that soft edge.
Jermaine Lewis should give the Ravens good field position as Chris Hansen set to kick from around his own 9. Best kick of the day, very high wobbler, fair catch. Look, no, he didn't. It looked as if he raised his hand. And now battles his way out to about the 43-yard line. A 45-yard punt, 8 on the return, and 8 minutes, 8 seconds left in this 4th quarter. Jacksonville, 5-point lead.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. And by Nextel, how business gets done.
Here's a look at Jermaine Lewis. This is why Dick thought he waved fair catch. He put his right hand up in the air, and that's awfully close to a fair catch signal, Dick. I was with you. I thought he signaled for it as well.
No call, and at the 44-yard line, the trouble with a snap is Cunningham pulled away, and the pressure inside by Hardy, the linebacker, joining Gary Walker, and Walker, number 96, had just been brilliant again. Defensively, the tackle for the Jaguars.
Boy, Jonathan Ogden was slow getting up. There's the snap. It came up. It looked like it hit Cunningham in the hands and then ends up hitting the ground. Remember, Mike Flynn was the right guard last year. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to Jonathan Ogden. He hits the ground awfully hard.
2nd and 14. Underneath and wide open is Ismail. And he has a first down at the 44 of the Jaguars. Late flag. Jason Kraft was the defender pushing him out of bounds. Personal foul, face mask against the Jaguars.
And the personal foul face mask is good for 15 yards.
Jason Kraft, the 5th defensive back, number 29.
Well, on a simple underneath crossing route, very effective against this zone of Jacksonville. Let's take a look at it. There's the face mask, the grab by Jason Kraft. If you get the handoff right away, it's only 5 yards.
Brookins.
Whoa!
He vaults his way forward close to the 22-yard line. Hardy Nickerson, the 5-time Pro Bowler, with a tackle.
Mike Flynn, the center for the Baltimore Ravens, has an injury to a hand. He's been replaced. Orlando Bobo, number 74, now in as the center for the Baltimore Ravens. So let's keep an eye on this exchange now.
Yeah, there it goes. And scramble for it. Cunningham appeared to get a hand in there and scrape it back. Although Jacksonville says they have it.
No, Baltimore kept possession.
3rd down. You saw the official raise the 3 fingers. So this is really a makeshift forward wall now in front of Cunningham.
Boy, and that ball got kicked by somebody, and luckily it bounced back to Randall, who covered the ball himself. But boy, that doesn't do a lot for a quarterback's confidence now, wondering whether or not he's going to come away with the snap cleanly.
Bobo comes out. Cunningham over the middle, complete to Sharp at the 10, rolls to the 9. 1st and goal for the Ravens as they try to drive into the end zone and take the lead.
Well, Mike Flynn comes back in, and he gets the snap up to Randall Cunningham. Great pass protection. And boy, look at that catch. That was not an easy ball. That thing was dying low to the outside, and Shannon Sharp goes down and digs it out. All hands. Oh, that's good stuff.
Right on the fingertips, his 7th catch, 88 yards. 1st and goal from the 9. Brookins up the middle to the 3. Tackle made by Marion McCree, the safety.
Well, James Brookins coming to life here behind some awfully good power blocking by the Raven offensive line. All of a sudden, they're getting some good footing, and they're removing the Jags from the line of scrimmage.
Brookins 81 yards rushing.
How about that for a rushing turnaround? 14 yards in the 1st half and over 100 here in the 2nd.
2nd and goal. Brookins again up the middle. And he stopped after maybe a yard. As those white jerseys stacked up, and then Kevin Hardy from his linebacker spot making sure no hole. 3rd and goal. The ball spotted between the 1 and 2 yard lines. Make it the 2.
Well, this Jacksonville defense has been tough all year, and they're facing a huge test right here on the road. No help from the fans.
Time ticking down to the 4-minute mark, and Cunningham rolling to his right and looking, throwing. Ismail, what a circus catch, sliding into the end zone.
Jason Kraft got up looking around going, are you kidding me? And now you see the signal again to go for 2, trying to make sure that a field goal, instead of winning the game, would only tie the game. How did he come up with that football?
It looked as if there was no way that that could be a reception. Well defended. The ball was right on the top of the grass. And now the 2-point conversion, and the officials step in. This may be
well, is this being challenged?
Reviewable or not? Let's take a look at 87. Watch him. Can't even see from that angle, but boy, he sure came up with it quickly.
This may give us a more definitive look. Wow. Initially it looked like it went through the hands of Ismail, but then his body turned so quickly.
Jason Kraft, the defender.
That's Jeff Triplett, our referee.
And Tom Coughlin apparently talking to his coaches upstairs, saying they didn't see anything definitive here. Here's the angle. Kraft and Ismail and
Boy, didn't it look from that angle like the ball goes all the way through and hits the ground? Keep in mind the ruling on the field. The ruling on the field was a touchdown. You can hear the crowd screaming in the background as this thing's being replayed. Jeff Triplett's going to have to see enough evidence to overturn that thing. I'm not sure he can see enough to overturn that. I'm not sure he's going to see enough.
Look at Kraft, left hand out. Just such a remarkable play by Ismail, and there's no evidence to say that Ismail didn't come up with it cleanly, and the call was
I think,
a catch.
Well, that's where you start. You start with the fact that it's ruled a touchdown. Can he see enough to overturn this? I mean, all the angles that we're looking at, I don't think he's going to see enough to rule this an incomplete catch. I think he's got to come back and say that this is a touchdown.
Well, you think about this game, Dan Dierdorf, the remarkable touchdown throw by Brunell going out of bounds for the lead for Jacksonville, and then this throw and catch for Baltimore.
I mean, initially it looked like it went through his hands, but on the other hand, you don't see it going through his hands. I mean, at first you're going to get that impression, but you don't see it hitting the ground.
One more look. They're slowing it down now. Now, the old rule, they could have said from that evidence incomplete, but if he has control, even the ball does touch the ground. If he's got his grasp on it, the rule has changed this year to include that as a catch.
He's got. Here's another angle from clear across the field.
It looks like he pulls it into his chest there, doesn't
It's just. This is a tough call for Triplett, but I just don't see enough to overturn what was on the field. This is as tough a replay as I've seen an official have to make the call. Well, here's Jeff Triplett.
His body language indicated that too, didn't it?
And that's exactly our read from up here in the booth.
Now, Coughlin probably had a better look than anyone because he's looking right down that sideline.
I think Jeff Triplett did exactly what he had to do. Again, if this is ruled incomplete on the field, I think he goes under the hood and comes out and says it's incomplete. But because it was ruled a catch on the field without any evidence to the contrary, it's a completion for a touchdown.
Here's the two-point conversion, a fake to Jermaine Lewis, and now Cunningham to the end zone, deflected, incomplete. It appeared to be Jason Kraft who got a hand on it. So it'll remain a one-point game. Baltimore trying to extend its lead to a field goal, but twice have missed on two-point conversions.
Well, it was a tremendous fake that time by Randall Cunningham, getting Ronaldo in off the ground.
And going to Jacksonville, not only did they, on the replay, lose the lead, they lost another timeout.
That they did, an unsuccessful challenge. They're trying to confuse the secondary of Jacksonville by putting everyone in a cluster, but Ismail goes down against outstanding coverage. Jason Kraft, look at that. I don't know how he could do it a whole lot better, but it ends up being a Baltimore touchdown.
And only Ismail knows if it was a sleight of hand or did he really make a circus catch.
But I know it's frustrating for everyone in Jacksonville, starting with Tom Coughlin, but I've got to think that Jeff Triplett did what he had to do as the referee under the hood. I think you can only go on what you see, not by what you think.
If you start saying, well, there's no way he could catch it, then where are you then?
No, you got to give the guy credit for making a good play.
Well, Jacksonville has 4 minutes to regain the lead, and Kite fires one deep, and they'll have to take the touchback. Damon Gibson. Well, as has been the case in this series, down to another tight game in the final minutes. And looking ahead to Saturday, college football here on CBS, the Tigers of LSU and the Tide of Alabama. 3:30 Eastern Time, our Home Depot SEC action. Tim and Tillman, Saturday at 3 on College Football Today.
That's Spencer Brando.
Casey Mack, lone running back. There you see how close this series has been. Brunell throws it long. Incomplete. Intended for McCardell, and he's covered by James Trapp. Back to the two-point conversion try.
Yeah, Baltimore trying it again, trying to get to 20 points. Just fake play action, rollout by Randall. But that's where I thought he might have bought enough time by getting Ronaldo Wynn off the ground. But that ball thrown just a little bit high. If he brings it down a little and out in front, I think you have a successful two-point conversion.
He wanted to go to Shannon Sharp, but Sharp was held up. 2nd and 10. Down the middle. Complete to McCardell, and he is just shy of the first down by about 2 yards. James Trapp, the tackler. 3rd and 2. Let's go to New York and bring you this update.
All right, back and forth they go in Detroit, Dick. The Bengals blew a 21-6 lead, but back in front with Dillon's 3rd touchdown of the day. Back to you.
Corey Dixon, what a force he is for the Bengals, and Brunell's been that for Jacksonville. Needs 2 for a first down. 3:21 left in the game. To the sidelines, McCardell with a terrific catch with James Trapp draped all over him.
Wow, that's all I can say about that. Look at this pinpoint strike from Mark Brunell. Keenan McCardell not expecting the ball back to the inside, really expecting it more to the sideline, but look at his reaction, able to come back. Boy, and the ball never touches the ground. That doesn't get a lot better than that for Keenan McCardell.
He's now in double figures with 10 catches, 118 yards. First down at the 35. Brunell's throw deflected and caught. How about that? Sean Dawkins' first catch of the game off a deflection, and how did Brunell get it away? He was being tackled by Adalius Thomas from behind.
There are people in this stadium thinking back to last year when Jimmy Smith caught a touchdown pass off of a deflection. And this time Mark Brunell throws a pass. It looks like it's going to be intercepted. Bounced from in the middle. McAllister has a play on it, and somehow Sean Dawkins has it come right to his hands.
The throw underneath is complete to Jimmy Smith. He gets to the Baltimore 42 at the 2-minute warning. The Jaguars need only a field goal. They trail by 1. It was only 3-3 at the half, but some offensive explosion here in the second half. We started the game, Dan, talking about two teams desperate for a win. We're seeing some desperation here.
Boy, aren't they? This is like a playoff game for these two. And now I think it's important to keep in mind right here, Dick, Jacksonville only has 1 timeout remaining. And not only are Jacksonville trying to beat the Baltimore Ravens, I saw Johnny U down there patrolling the sidelines. They gotta play the legend of Johnny U at the same time.
From the 43 into the flat, complete to Mack, who is cut down on a tough tackle by Chris McAllister at the 44. 3rd down. Now, should Jacksonville score to take the lead, Baltimore does have its 3 timeouts left. And there's the great Johnny Unitas, still looking terrific. What a player he was. This crowd standing, sold out, 69,000 cheering for the defense. 3rd and 5. Brunell, too tall, incomplete, intended for Keenan McCardell. So now it's down to this 4th down decision for Jacksonville. They need 5 more yards.
Well, that time Baltimore, good pressure up the middle. They didn't allow Mark Brunell to really get set and survey the field.
Look at the accuracy of Brunell. That's only the 8th pass that's hit the ground.
The only way you've forced him into any kind of a bad throw is pressure. If he's had time in the pocket, he's been laser sharp every single pass.
Dawkins to the left, Smith and McCardell to the right. They've not made a 4th down conversion all year.
They better hurry up.
They got it off. Brunell, incomplete to McCardell. It was the pressure of Sam Adams up the middle, forcing Brunell to throw hurriedly.
Boy, and that is not the guy you'd expect. Sam Adams came in big, splits the right guard, splits the right tackle, and gets the hit on Mark Brunell. And Mark not able to step into that throw. Has to throw it falling backwards, and Sam Adams comes up huge.
Now to stop the clock, Jacksonville has only 1 timeout and 1:46 left. Big Sam Adams,
and when he comes up huge, he comes up really huge. Pretty good. You know, it really was an amazing throw by Brunell to even get it to the point where McCardell had a chance to make a circus catch.
So the kneel down by Cunningham, and the last timeout will be spent by Jacksonville. And a reminder tonight after the second games at 7 o'clock Eastern time, 60 minutes, followed by the education of Max Bickford on a CBS Sunday night movie is The Wedding Dress starring Tyne Daly. That's all tonight on CBS. 60 minutes at 7 o'clock, and our CBS doubleheader continues in a terrific second game. The Raiders move east against the Eagles of Philadelphia. 2 first-place teams, Miami, Seattle, New England, Denver, Buffalo, and San Diego, the other games. This one has been highly entertaining, and of course one that's had these Baltimore fans gasping under pressure as Brian Billick's Super Bowl champions trying to end that 2-game losing streak and move back into the plus column at 4-3. And for Tom Coughlin's Jaguars, what a gallant effort. Boy, they lost some tough games, losing to Buffalo in the final minute. A drive underway here and unable to convert on 3rd and 4th down on the Baltimore side of the field.
Okay, they can't stop the clock here, Dick. But given the fact there's 1 minute and 27 seconds in this game and clicking away.
Well, 3rd down coming up.
They're going to Jacksonville could end up getting the ball back.
Well, the play clock will stop if you let it run out on this play at exactly 1 minute. And Cunningham didn't use all of the time allotted. Now they'll let it run again, and we'll bring up 4th down with the opportunity for the Jaguars to get the ball, disheartened as they may be at the moment. Coughlin's team, after beating Pittsburgh and Tennessee to start the season, 2 very important wins, losing to Cleveland, Seattle, a tough loss at home to Buffalo a week ago Thursday night, and then they go to Tennessee next week.
Jacksonville is going to come out of this with about 20 seconds on the clock.
And now,
give or take a few.
You got to think about 2-3 plays ahead now as the head coach.
Now Baltimore is going to have to execute a punt.
24 seconds remaining. Now they bring the punt team out. They use one of their timeouts, and we'll see whether or not Jacksonville will go aggressively after the punter Richardson. At the other end, Damon Gibson, his longest ever punt return was 65 yards for a score, and he's had a couple of nice returns in this game, including the opening kickoff. Brunell with a fabulous effort today. This Jacksonville team, an underdog on the road against the Super Bowl champions, a team itself really ready to play a big game, and Jaguar was their every measure today.
Well, here comes Jacksonville. Showed return at first and then got up on the line. Now they're showing rush, and here they come.
They get it off. Bad kick that goes out of bounds at about the 42-yard line of Jacksonville. So Richardson, in his haste to get it off under a 10-man rush, scuffed it.
So the question now is, without a timeout, can Mark Brunell and the Jaguars run a play over the middle of the field, complete it for enough yardage, and get up and get under center and spike the ball in time to stop the clock, Dick?
That would be tough.
Well, I think they got enough time to do it. It would be close. But you know that Baltimore is going to be playing for the sidelines.
They load up 3 to the right after a 17-yard punt. Brunell. Oh, my. Incomplete. Stacey Mack off his fingertips. Perhaps too eager to run before he saw the ball in.
Oh, and Michael McCrary with the pass rush again, forcing Mark Brunell out of the pocket. Boy, Stacey Mack could have caught that ball, gotten out of bounds.
He looked as if he was going to get into Baltimore territory, probably the 45, maybe more.
Well, there's
used only 3 seconds, 5 seconds. Brunell winds up and throws it long into the crowd. Incomplete. 6 seconds left and a final desperation chance left for Jacksonville.
Well, this ball draws a crowd. Playing center field is Rod Woodson, number 26, Corey Harris, number 45. You're not going to see a purple jersey with a white jersey beyond him. If you do, might be his last play in a Baltimore uniform. Baltimore right now has got to hope for some type of a deflection or some kind of a penalty.
Rod Woodson is back at the 18-yard line. So they flood the right side. And now Brunell. Incomplete. Knocked down by Rod Woodson. And this game is over. A hard-earned 18-17 victory for the Super Bowl champion Ravens. Brian Billick's team sees the veteran Woodson right there to fly swat away the final hope for Brunell and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That was Rod Woodson's job, Dick, to play center field, keep it all in front of him. He just went upstairs, looked like a volleyball player with a kill.
So Jacksonville to 2-4 despite a valiant effort by Mark Brunell. And the Super Bowl champion Ravens are now 4-3. There are your second games of the doubleheader coming up. NFL Today with scores and highlights to follow as well. For Dan Dierdorf, Bonnie Bernstein, Dick Enberg, so long from Baltimore.
And greetings, everyone. Jim Nance from our NFL Today studios in New York. Welcome. Coming up next here on CBS, most of you are going to see Oakland against Philadelphia. Others, Miami out at Seattle, New England, Denver. Some will see Buffalo against the ex-Bills out there in San Diego. Some of you saw Baltimore rally from 17-6 down for a victory. We've got final second action out in Carolina with the Jets clinging to a 1-point lead. Kevin Harlan and Craig James have the call. Let's go there live.
And 3, the pass. Intercepted, incomplete, knocked away by Ray Mickens. As we welcome those of you watching Baltimore come from behind and beat Jacksonville by 1. The New York Jets have notched their 4th win of the season here. They have now won 3 of the last 4, and for Carolina, they have had 3 consecutive games with 4th quarter leads, and they've lost all 3.
So the Jets will advance now to 4-3, 3-0, perfect on the road this season. Let's take you to the scores. 6 games in the 1 o'clock window today. Leading it off, the Ravens with a victory, hard-fought win against the Jags. Come back here by Baltimore. They had to have it today, Mike Ditka.
They really did. The Jaguars started off and they take the lead with over the champs with a shot to Jimmy Smith, who makes a great run down here from Brunell. Gives him a 10-6 lead. Watch Brunell here. Poise, scrambles. Great throw here. Another touchdown pass.
That was the first play of the 4th quarter.
Mack.
Yep, back came.
Here they come. Boom.